What's going on, guys? TmarTn here, and welcome back to another episode of the top 10 best paint jobs in Black Ops 3. This is a weekly series we do every single Sunday, showcasing paint jobs submitted by you guys so we can appreciate your creations and get some inspiration for paint jobs to create for our own weapons. So if you guys want to submit paint jobs for next week's episode, feel free to check out the link down in the description. There's a kind of like a tutorial video, and you guys can go ahead and do that. And without further ado, let's hop in to this week's top 10. Now, starting us off at number 10, we have something that's going to stroke my ego a little bit. The Rusty Toaster made a TmarTn paint job for the M8A7, and I think it looks really good. You know, it's partially that it looks good, and it's also partially because I really appreciate him taking the time to put my logo on his weapon. Obviously, he didn't have to do that, but I do appreciate it, and honestly, I think I'm going to try to make this on my M8, because I think that looks pretty cool. So, thank you, man. I really do appreciate it. You did a great job with that. Now, moving on to number 9, we have the Glock Fade by Combat Killer YouTube, and usually I'm looking for something a little bit more than just a fade in this series, but he killed this one. So if you guys haven't tried it, sometimes fades can be a little bit difficult to fade colors together in this game. It's just like it interacts weird, and it creates like weird colors in the middle and stuff like that. But he absolutely killed this one. You guys can see it is exactly like the Glock Fade in CSGO. The colors are almost identical. So because he did such a great job with that, I felt like I had to give him a shout out here, because obviously the Glock Fade is one of the most iconic skins in CSGO, and it looks fantastic on this weapon in Black Ops 3. Now, next up at number 8, we have I Am the Ruler by Curtis Simpson. And this one was just like, it's one of those ones that it really wasn't that, you know, kind of like complex to make, but it's super creative. So you guys can see it's on the HVK 30, and there's really not a lot of room on the HVK 30 to put your paint job. It's only on that top like skinny rectangular piece. So he went creative with this, and he just created a ruler on top of it, and then he throws that field camo on down below, and it kind of ties it in because the field has a little bit of that like yellowish orange ruler color in it. So I don't know, I thought that one was pretty creative, so that's going to take our number 8 spot. Now, moving on to number 7, this one right here is called Charizard by Danny1109, and granted, I've seen more detailed Charizards and stuff on weapons in this game. What I really liked about this one is the way that he kind of linked the 3 sides together. So you guys can see Charizard's actually on one side, and then his tail kind of like wraps around the top of the gun and then goes around to the other side where he's got like the flame on the end of it and stuff like that. So I haven't really seen people link the 3 sides together like that very much. Like usually they kind of just like mirror the sides after each other, but this one was just 100% linked, and his tail goes all the way around. So I thought that was kind of a unique take on it, and I think you did a good job, Danny. Now, next up, moving on to number 6, guys, we have Super Mario by Captain Facepalm 14. That's his PSN ID or PSN gamer tag. So this one, I don't know, I thought it was pretty cool. I would have liked to see the top and the other side. He didn't provide those in the images, but I thought it was kind of a unique idea. You guys can see it's like the typical, you know, old school Super Mario side scroller game layout on the side of his weapon. So, you know, I haven't really seen that before. I feel like you could make a really, really detailed one, but his is the first I've seen, so I wanted to give him a shout out for that. Now, moving on to number 5, we are halfway through the series here. We have the Patrick Star knife by killerkaveman. This one, I thought it was really awesome. I love creative knives. Knives are probably my favorite thing to see in the games. Like, I love seeing them in the winner circle and stuff like that, and seeing what people do with them. And having Patrick on your knife is kind of funny. This Patrick face is kind of a meme too, right? I'm not sure the name of the meme, but I've seen it a lot on like Imager, you know, back in the day. It feels like it hasn't been around forever, but I've definitely seen this like open mouth surprise faced Patrick all over the place in the internet before, so that's pretty cool. Now, moving on, we've got our top 4 coming up, and these are all very, very good. So at the number 4 spot this week, we have Fully Charged by Baldwin Ash, and this one is another one that, like, it's not too difficult to make, but it's extremely creative. So you guys can see here, this is the Black Cell launcher, and what he did is the kind of like the part that you reload, he made into a Duracell battery. And I don't know, I think it looks so cool, especially in this gameplay here when you see him reload it. It's like he's literally taking a giant Duracell battery out of the back of his launcher and then putting a new one back in. So I don't know. I thought this one was extremely creative, and I think it fits it really well. Like, you're powering up your weapon with the Duracell battery. So that's our number 4 spot. Now, next up at number 3, this is where it starts to get pretty detailed. We've got the Flash by BDog252, and you guys can see here, this is an entire weapon camo dedicated to the Flash. On one side, you've got kind of like the text logo. On the top, you've got his face, and then over on the other side, you've got his actual logo. All of it looks really good. The red and yellow obviously goes well together. Those are a really nice color combo. So I thought this was a nicely detailed and just like in general nice looking camo for your weapon. So that one takes the number 3 spot. Now, moving on to the top 2. At the number 2 spot and the number 1 spot, we have camos created by Sherbert Melon. He's actually been featured on this series before, so obviously he is quite the creator here in Black Ops 3. Taking the number 2 spot, we have Angry Pikachu. So I had to choose this one, man. It's just like, who doesn't like Pikachu? I really like the way it contrasts, Pikachu's yellow body against the kind of like purple background. And on one side, you have like the Angry Pikachu on the side that faces the player, so you're looking at that most of the time. On the opposite side, you've got some lightning bolts and stuff. Doesn't have to be quite as detailed because that's what the enemy team is going to be seeing. So yeah, I don't know. I thought this one was kind of cool. And then at the number 1 spot, we have another Pokemon-themed camo. Obviously, I love Pokemon, if you guys can't tell. And what it's going to be is Squirtle. So look at this one, guys. This one, I just like, as soon as I saw this one pop up in my submissions feed, I was like, oh, that one's got to be number 1. So I don't know. I always went with Charmander on my playthroughs, like back in the day in Pokemon. Like, obviously, I played through with Squirtle once or twice and Bulbasaur once or twice. I probably played through that game like at least 20 different times. I usually chose Charmander, but I always had kind of a soft spot for Squirtle. Like, I always thought Squirtle was like this super, like, cute, innocent little thing, but it also had a lot of power and stuff like that. So Squirtle was quite the baller in my eyes. And you guys can see here, it's an extremely detailed camo. So you have the Squirtle on one side, and there's a lot of detail that went into this. Like, look at his eyes, how it's got like the light shining off and stuff like that. I don't know, I thought it looked really good. Up on top, you have some water splashes and bubbles, and then over on the other side, I thought he did a fantastic job with this side over here. It's not quite as detailed as having the actual Squirtle, but it's got, again, the water splashes and the bubbles all over the place that I think look really good. So, yeah, there you guys have it. Those are the top 10 weapon paint jobs in Black Ops 3 for the 3rd week. Hope you guys enjoyed the episode. Let me know which one was your favorite from this episode. Leave comments down below, and I will see you guys next Sunday. Thanks for watching, guys. Peace out.